Hello and welcome to Stage 5 of the Singapore Grand Prix at Marina Bay. This is a difficult stage. It requires skillful driving and creative strategy. So both of those things could save you from having to buy more upgrades. Now, this is a difficult target and it's more difficult because there are two bots in front of me that are in my way. So I thought I'm going to go back because I want to have a good speed run. The time doesn't start until I cross the start-finish line. And if you can see that, I've substantially sped up some of this footage. So now I've got a nice pocket I can race in. I don't have to have anyone in front of me or anyone behind me causing me trouble. Now, there's definitely some bots behind me, but they're far enough behind me that they won't be in the way, and the guys in front of me won't be in my way, because that's the problem I was having. Like, drafting is really nice, but sometimes they just get in your way because they're not fast enough. Like, they want me to do a 126, and I bet you these guys are doing 129s. So, or maybe 130s. They're just going to be too slow. So drafting off of a slow bot doesn't make a lot of sense, unless you can get around them quickly. So, there, I nicked a wall. You can see there's a little bit of room for sloppiness, but not much. Again, if I didn't mention it yet, this is a base car. No tuning, base driver level, base principle. I've spent nothing. And I'm seeing how long I can last that way. Anderson Bridge. I love Anderson Bridge. So this is, again, this is difficult. And I'm just starting to catch up on Grosjean now. And I don't think I'm going to get close enough for him to really be in my way. By the way, special thanks to Muhammad for explaining to me why I was doing okay yesterday with zero sensitivity in this Red Bull. It has the shortest wheelbase of any F1 car in the 2020 season. I didn't know that. That makes perfect sense. Today I actually bumped it up to 1, and 1's feeling really good to me. I was having a little bit of trouble with 0, so look at that. Just catching the bots now. Whoa, wow, that was fast. I'm surprised it was that fast. I'm putting up a 125 versus 129s and beyond, so I'm pretty happy with that. Wow. Okay, in this particular race, I found this to be the easiest one of Stage 5. So set the fastest lap, and there's like 2.5 laps to do it in. So this is the out lap. And now here's something to remember with set the fastest lap stages. There's two ways you could approach this. 1, drive a really fast lap. 2, make everyone else drive a really slow lap and then don't have to go as fast yourself. The problem is, we've got 2 laps to set our fastest lap in. So I don't want to do that. It's going to just take a really long time. I'm not even sure how well it's going to work if I try to slow down the bots that much for 2 laps. Another thing to consider, you can't take damage. So if you're going to park yourself on the track where the bots could hit you, they could fail you by you taking on damage. So gotta watch that, and this is no off-track stage as well, so that we're ramping up the difficulty. Things are getting a lot more realistic. Now, they've set these walls to normal time trial difficulty. What I mean is, there's 2 types of wall sensitivity. In regular time trials, you can get away with wall contact, very minor. In fact, if you know how to do it, you can even do wall rides in the game still at certain tracks. Like at Hong Kong, you can still do wall rides if you want to. But then there's weekly time trial competitions. That's when the walls are set extra sensitive, like the smallest tap, and you fail. And it can be frustrating sometimes because there are times in real racing where guys do just tap the walls. Now, of course, most of the time that's going to really hurt you, but sometimes, like, well, there we go. That's a tap and I got away with it. Now, 129s, 128. Still, you saw me do basically a 125, 125.053. That's pretty stinking fast in a base car. I'm really surprised at that. So 127, okay, so I can't be, I gotta go. I do have to put a good lap. Let's see what I pull off here, because if I do a nice lap here, then I can kind of relax. You can take this full throttle. Oh man, you gotta be so careful on that curb. I realized I've been overcutting that curb, and you can easily go off track there. It's actually a bit faster if you don't hit that curb, but it's a very narrow path. As you can see, I've sped this up because I don't want to drag this out too much for you. Oh no, that guy hit me. I gotta watch the rear view mirror. You get too much damage here and you're gonna fail the stage. I'm driving slow because I didn't want to risk getting damaged, and invariably I'm getting tangled up. And then I also wanted to see what happens if I let Hamilton pass me. And I should have really just pulled over and let both these guys pass me earlier than I did. Don't know what I was thinking, but anyhow, I just thought I'd test to see what would happen for bot management, and it ends up being a bit of a failed experiment here, because when I cross the line, of course, I still get first. So, oh well. There we go. I'm happy with that. Now we get on to a really hard stage. Honestly, guys, I spent a good 2 hours here today. It's extremely hard because you're super loose on this first lap. And look, you've got 2 minutes and 55 seconds to do 2 laps. And during your first lap, you have got junk tires for a good chunk of it. And you've got to have your tires at 80% before you start the next lap. Well, guess what, guys? If you drive nice and clean, you'll fail. You'll fail as soon as you start your second lap. So I got to throw it into a skid there so I can get more heat into those tires. You got to find some place to build extra heat. And boy, it's challenging. This is a really hard stage. And you might say, well, why did you push it so hard? Why didn't you just add more tuning? Because these are the things that make me a better racer. When I must find more time, when I have to get faster, this is when I become a better racer. And so I push it. Now, I won't go too far with it, but I finished so many times, like 2/10 of a second, 2/10 of 1 second short. So that's why I just had to keep going. So here, I did not think I was going to have enough heat in the tires when I crossed the line, and you'll see what I mean. And believe me, I tested this. If you have 79% tires when you cross the start-finish line, fail. Instant red banner. Here I'm at 75%. I'm still nervous. And look at that clock. 78. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's razor thin. Now, we know I'm capable of a 125, and I've started this lap at about 126, but I am not at 100% tires. Not yet. Although, at 85-90%, you can pretty well drive it as if you are. Tires that are heating up have a lot more grip than tires that are degrading. So, heating up tires at 70% are way better than degrading tires at 70%. Now, this guy is going to be a problem for me. I've got to really plan my overtake. I'm hoping to set it up here, get a bit of draft. I don't want to get tangled up. They're aggressive now. Look at this. Watch this corner. He didn't roll over. He didn't just give it to me. So, and now I got to worry about him being on my tail. Anderson Bridge, turn 13. Okay, good. Good. I was worried about him. He's not gaining on me, which means I can take a nice wide path here. Oh my. Bots really do horrible there. Look at him. Look how much time how much farther back he's falling. Now this is super hard, man. Man, I spent a lot of time here. I'm still sweating it. I'm trying to be so careful. I don't want to keep it pinned here because I'm nervous, but I don't want to lift because I don't want to fail. Invariably, I lifted for the fraction of a second. If you go back and check, you'll see that I was at 0.578 just before I crossed the line. So the time you're seeing here is just showing my single lap time, which is really odd. And then this stage, this is really hard as well. The lap time that we have to beat's a lot lower, but the problem is the steering is going all crazy. So here I am, and I can't, and you'll find out once you get here. And so look at this. Not fast enough. 10th place finish. Okay, here's strategy. So, tip 1, crank your volume so that you can hear when the steering changes. There's a horrible metal on metal grinding sound. That means your steering is going to switch in like 1 second or less. So, here's the trick, okay? You find a place where you can delay the bots a little bit without getting tangled up. And I thought, you know what? Turn 13 should be perfect. So I want to back up a bit so I can keep my eyes on them. Now I'm going to go 16 times regular speed there. Watch what they do. See how much they're slowing down? You see, they were doing lap times of about 128, 129. I just couldn't get there with all of the steering being so goofy. So look at this. Look how much I'm slowing them down. I'm just going to sit here and wait till all of them pass me. And see that? Everyone is slowing down, but nobody, a little bit of light contact, but not very much. Not enough to fail me. Okay, there's a Ferrari, so we should be seeing Mercedes here pretty quick. There's one of them. Here comes Hamilton. And I'm going to go. Wow, he slowed down a lot. Okay, so you watch the impact of, oh boy, almost hit the wall. Definitely fail if you get too much contact. So there we go. 136. That's way better than the 128s, 129s I was looking at. So this is difficult because your steering just can suddenly switch, which means that the center point for your steering wheel is changing, or where you have to hold your device. You have to really quickly adjust to that. Getting an extra, basically an extra 8 seconds on my clock means I can really relax. So what I'm doing is, as I'm heading to my braking point, I am getting off the throttle early, I'm coasting a bit. See here, I'm not comfortable being far over to the right because I'm holding my device a little bit wonky right now. And you'll know what I mean when you get here. The worst of these that we ever had was having to drive the Venom at Indianapolis Speedway. And my goodness, the steering would switch in that thing, and you would just thrash against the wall and get airborne because that car is so crazy fast. It's actually it's the hardest wonky steering stage I ever faced. And so, now this one was until I figured out that little strategy. I did try parking in the middle of the bridge, of Anderson Bridge there, but then someone whacks you hard enough that you fail. So parking where I did, hey, it's perfect. Parking right at corner 13 here is just perfect because they all slow down, and I got a little bit of taps so you could just adjust where you're parked. And there you go. You're going to see that this becomes an easy stage. So still, no tuning, no driver, no principal. I've spent nothing. Everything I got has been earnings. We'll see. 2 more stages to go after this one, and I do expect it to get very difficult. We'll see, though. If we're done with the timed events, it's just going to be a lot of racing, and so we'll see. We'll just see what happens. You got to join me to see what happens there. So there you go. I really relaxed. I still beat my competition by a lot. 131, and we'll see. I'm guessing it was 136 at the most. Oh, 134 for Hamilton. Well, there you go. Still, that's pretty slow compared to the others. Okay, if you like this video, please press like. Please subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I'll throw up some other links here, and hopefully I get stage 6 up in about 24 hours.